Wow, my hair is greasy in this video, so right after this video is recorded, I'm gonna go take a nice shower. So I received an email this morning in my mrrepsy@gmail.com. So, user on YouTube submitted a video to me asking me a two questions which I actually have not explored on my channel, and that is, number one, why don't girls like me, and number two, why do all the girls who I like always seem to date the douchebags? We're going to be exploring these two questions, but before so, I'd like to say that I don't have the answer to everything. I am not a professional advice giver. I do not have all the answers to dating. I've only been in one relationship, but somehow I get probably the most common questions I get on my YouTube and through my email is people asking me questions about dating. And finally, I'm going to try to attempt to tackle the topic on my personal opinion. So with that said, please watch his relatively short 4-minute video, and then we'll get on to the two questions asked.
Hey Daniel, I'm going to try and make this video as fast as possible, and hopefully I won't stumble over my words too much. I've never made a video like this, but I feel like if I am going to make a video like this, now would be the time to do it. I was very reluctant last night to make this, but today when I got up, and I was at college, I really felt like it was necessary to speak about this. I know this is something that you haven't mentioned on your channel much lately, but I feel like I feel like I should share my story with you because I want to get your opinion, but then I want to get the opinion of others so that way I'm not just asking one person. On your channel you mentioned about being single and being a virgin and all this other stuff pertaining to women and relationships and all this. I've only had one girlfriend in my whole life, and the relationship only lasted for a few days, but then there was like a week and a half to maybe 2 weeks during the relationship where there was no contact whatsoever. So the only contact that we had, I'm calling it a few days. That was back in 2008, early 2009 sometime. And it's really been a burden on me because here lately, for the past, I'd say, few weeks now, I mean, this has been an ongoing thing for a few years, but for the last, few weeks, I've been really, just kind of confused about how come I can't seem to get girls to like me. I mean, I work with them when at my job. I'm a dishwasher at a restaurant. So there's a lot of good-looking waitresses working there with me, and whenever they ask me something, I'll give them an answer. I say hi to them. I try to be as nice as I can to them, but I've always wondered how come I can have a casual conversation with a woman as a friend and not be in a serious committed relationship. I know you're probably not the best person to ask that, but I mean, there are girls that I really do like a lot, and I don't understand why they don't like me back. Is it the approach? Is it what exactly am I doing wrong? I mean, I know I probably speak for a lot of guys, but from the area that I'm around, I mean, it seems like everybody that I know already has a girl, but I don't. It seems like all the really good-looking girls are the ones that are the hardest to get at, because they know that they are hot, and it's normally those ones, the hot ones, that get the butthole guys, you know, like the ones that are, you know, mean-spirited and, you know, say mean shit and treat them bad, you know, or say, I don't know, just, it's always appeared to be that way, in my opinion. To end the video, I just want to ask girls, what is it about girls? Thank you for watching, Daniel.
So from what I've gathered, the two big questions you ask are, and I wrote it down, why don't girls like me? And two, why do the girls who I like, the hot girls at my work, always seem to date the douchebags who don't respect them, who don't treat them right, and treat them like garbage? And this is a very interesting question, and it's a very in-depth question, and I think there are a lot of different answers as to why this is, but I'm going to give you my main answer to this problem. You ask the question, why don't girls like you? And I don't think it's a problem of not girls liking you. It's a problem that the girls who are hot that you like a particular type of guy, and that is the douchebag type of guy. Now the question you're asking is, why does this hot girl like the douchebag type of guy? And I think I may have an answer, and this may be agreeable to some and may just be disagreeable to others, but here's my best shot at the question. So let's say on the side here, we have a big, buff, good-looking douchebag male. This male is the type of guy who only cares about appearance. He believes in conditional love. In other words, it's not real love. It's a love that's infatuated with the idea of a woman's body. It's the idea that the only reason I want to date this girl is because she's hot, she's sexy, and has a wonderful, nice pair of breasts. I realize that may sound strange, but I honestly believe that. A lot of douchebag guys have the mentality of only dating women who are good-looking because they are hot. They don't care about the personality, they don't care about the individual, they don't care about the person at a heart-centered individual level. They care about their body. This to me is wrong, but this is kind of the mentality of douchebag men. So you have this douchebag guy who only cares about materialism and the conditional appearance of a woman, right? And then you have this hot girl. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to say that this hot girl has low self-esteem. This is not always the case for hot girls, but in this particular example, she has low self-esteem. This girl with low self-esteem is very observant and aware of her body. She may feel insecure about her body. She may think that she isn't good looking. She may think that her breasts are not big enough, perky enough, or she's too fat, or she's too thin. You know, the list could go on forever. She's very insecure about herself, and she is seeking for someone, a guy, to validate her. And it just so happens that this hot girl meets one of these douchebag guys who the douchebag guy knows that this girl has low self-esteem, and this douchebag guy then pursues this hot girl who has low self-esteem, in which case validates herself. And this guy, you know, douchebag guy comes off as, you know, you're so pretty, or you're so hot, or I love you so much, or I care for you so much, or you have such a pretty smile. You know, all of these fakey, whitewashy, fake compliments only to make the girl feel validated so that he can hook up with her and in most cases get laid or have sex. This whole process of the douchebag guy going after the girl who has low self-esteem makes me angry. It pisses me off, and I think it's wrong, but it seems to be that this process of the douchebag guy and the hot girl, it just seems to be that there's a connection here, and I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly all the details, but this is the problem. He validates her, she feels loved and accepted, they start dating, and voila, that douchebag is dating the hot girl. And it doesn't even need to be addressed necessarily the hot girl. It can be any girl who's struggling with low self-esteem. A lot of guys prey on this. They see a girl and they jump on the fact that they can pull that girl in and manipulate them and make them be, I guess you could say, their hot girlfriend with a hot body person. So there are two problems with this scenario. Number one, the guy thinks a relationship is made by a conditional appearance, and the girl thinks a relationship is made by her body size, her body image. And both of these are false. These are not true, and they are not things which are needed to bring in a real relationship. Why am I telling you this? Why am I explaining this scenario to you? Well, it's interesting because I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't like to talk about this over YouTube, and I try not to. But I'll give you some very vague details. I was in a relationship. I've only been in one relationship. I'm still currently a virgin. Thankfully, I'm so glad I am. I don't plan on having sex most likely until I'm married. In fact, not most likely. I'm not going to have sex until I'm married. That's just, it's one of my personal beefs that I have. But I was in a relationship for almost 2 years. The relationship ended just before our 2-year anniversary, and I was the reverse opposite. So the scenario I explained to you with the douchebag guy, instead it was flipped. I had a douchebag girlfriend who used me, who preyed on me. She saw that when I went through certain things in my life, I was going through self-harm, I was going through depression, I was recently sexually assaulted at that time when I was 16. She didn't know these details, but she saw that I had low self-esteem, and she jumped on that fact, and my relationship turned into a abusive verbal abuse. She manipulated me, she controlled me, she was one of these girls who would threaten to commit suicide if I did something she didn't like. She'd say, I'm gonna go kill myself, and me being the naive, nice person that I am, I was like, I don't want you to hurt yourself, so I not go see a movie that, I mean, it got so bad in the relationship that I wasn't allowed to go to the movies. She tried to get me to delete my own personal family off Facebook, and that's all. I'm gonna stop there. If that doesn't paint you the picture of the type of relationship I had, I don't know what does. I just don't like talking about it, so that's all the details I'm giving. It was a bad relationship, and it was the reversal of I had a douchebag girlfriend, and I was actually the person with the low self-esteem. And the interesting thing about this is when you have a hot girl who has low self-esteem, there's a lot of people on YouTube and the internet and in general who say, well, if the girl doesn't know any better, then she deserves what's coming towards her, which is being treated like garbage by the douchebag guy. And I say that's completely wrong. No girl or guy deserves to be treated with disrespect and treated like they're some piece of meat in terms of, you know, appearance. That, oh, I only like you if you have a nice body, or I only like you if you look a certain way. That's not a real relationship. That's not based on true, genuine love, and that's not based on true, genuine commitment. But in terms of answering your question as to why girls like you, it's not a problem with you, man. I used to think like this too. I used to think, why don't girls like me? It has to be something wrong with me. Maybe it's how I say, maybe it's how I speak, maybe it's how I approach. When in reality, it was because I was actually looking for the wrong type of girl. I was looking for a girl who thinks that her value is based upon her appearance. And you and me, we don't want someone like that. I personally want a girl who knows who she is, who knows what she wants, and has frickin' standards. A lot of hot girls nowadays don't have standards. They just settle for less. Whatever they can get, they're happy with, and that's usually a douchebag guy. And I personally am looking for a girl who has high standards, who knows what she wants in a relationship, and who can in fact help me grow as a person. Because in a relationship you have a guy and a girl, and I believe the guy and a girl need to be completely well developed, and they need to know who they are. And then when they go in a relationship, their relationship is always building each other up and growing together. So it's not like someone's down here, she's up here, or he's up here and she's down there. That's going to be a dysfunctional relationship when you have that. I'd also like to add a very important point that I see a lot of men do, and this is a problem. If you are pursuing a girl, do not, I repeat, do not change yourself for that girl. Because when I was in my past relationship, that's what I tried to do. I grew out my hair super long. I tried to be in the emo phase. Why? Because that's what my girlfriend wanted at that time. And she tried to change me into someone who I wasn't. And the most important thing, if you're pursuing a girl, don't not conform to what she wants you to be. Because if you do that, you're not going to be yourself. And if you're not yourself in the relationship, you're going to have one hell of a time having a well-developed and well-centered and well-loving and well-accepting relationship when you're trying to be someone you're not. So the important thing about my biggest thing of advice in this video is that, number one, you're looking to the wrong type of girls, and number two, if you're pursuing a girl, do not change for her. Be you, be yourself, and do not change for society or people. Because what I've realized is that I have to find a girl who's going to accept me for me. I have to find a girl who's going to like me for me. I have to find a girl who's not going to try to change me into someone I'm not. And to be honest, I'm afraid of dating. There is a particular girl who I like a lot right now, and she's not interested in me, and that's fine. But I realize that I need to be myself and not try to change into what she thinks is a decent guy. Because if I do that, it won't be a real relationship. It will be a fake me and a real her, and you don't want a fake version of yourself. You want a real version of yourself, and you want a real version of that girl. So with that said, I really hope that this was helpful. I don't know if it was. I'm not a professional dating advice giver. I've only been in one relationship. I learned a lot from that one relationship, and I hope that through time I will not be single. But I don't know. It really just depends. Like I said, I gotta find someone who really loves and cares for me and accepts me and who wants to be my friend first before I even consider a real relationship. With that said, thank you for watching. My name is Mr. Repzion. Peace the rep out, and I really hope this was helpful, but I don't know. I guess I'll